This is journal 3, and this journal is concerning Julie Pallant's SPS Survival Manual, Chapter 7. It's preliminary analysis, and it deals with using graphs to describe and explore the data. So we're going to describe and explore the data from the survey. Let me make sure I'm in the right one. Sleep.sav. So I'm in sleep.sav. And it's already open. So I'm in sleep.sav, and I have already gone over because I've done this and I had to change my problem sleeping to ordinal because you'll see that in a while. And then our total sleeping was also changed to scale. So let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to go and make a histogram. So go to graphs, chart builder, press OK. And our first is going to be a histogram. So we click on histogram underneath gallery. Click it and drop it in the work area. And this is I want to explore the distribution of scores on the Epworth sleepiness scale. So I'm going to look for Epworth, and I have a hard time finding this because in my mind, proper nouns should be capitalized. And when they put this in, which if I were going to put this in my study, it would have to be capitalized because it is a proper noun. So I click find my Epworth sleepiness scale. I click and I drop that to the bottom. I press OK. And in my output, I have my histogram. And this you can see your data and how it compares the frequency and where the scale is. So my next graph I'm going to do is I'm going to go to chart builder and I'm going to build a bar graph. This is my work area, remember, so I'm resetting it. So I start new in my bar graph and I'm comparing. So this asks me to compare scores on sleepiness and associated sensation scale across 3 age groups for male and females. So first thing I'm going to do is I know it's male and female. So I'm going to go ahead and change my color to sex or my gender. My bottom, I'm comparing the 3. So I'm going to go down and find that H3, drop that on the bottom, and I'm going to look for and I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bigger, and I'm going to drop the SAS there. I'm going to press OK. And I come out with my sleepiness scale here. And what I can see from here using my bar graphs, I see that I've got less than or equal to 37 in my first age group, 38 to 50 in my second, and 51 plus in my third age group. And I can see that in every single age group, women have sleepiness, have higher degrees of sleepiness, but each year they go down a little bit, whereas males start at a higher level, go down, and then increase again. So that's something you can gather from that scale. Something now that we want to do is we want to put in a scatter plot. So we're going to go to graphs, chart builder, press OK again, wipe out my work area, so reset it, and we're going to go to scatter. We're going to go ahead and drop that up top. Now, what I'm doing here is I want to explore the relationship between scores on the Epworth sleepiness scale and the sleepiness and associated sensation scale. And I want my markers to be male and female. So knowing that my set color, I'm already going to go ahead and I'm going to click and drag it here. So I've got my sex up here and I've got different colors you can see in just the preview box. Now, I am going to put my total SAS on actually, total SAS on the bottom. And drag it out a little bit more so I can see it. And then I am going to put my scale, my Epworth scale, on my Y. Okay. So from there, I'm going to also come down and press OK. And what I can see from this scale is that from the sleepiness scale is my I've got most of my data where it is 10 and under, but up above, and from what I can tell from this data as well, is that most of my survey, my people that were surveyed that are above are my female, whereas down 10 and below, I've got a mix of male and female. I do have some outliers as far as males are concerned. You can see this one here, this one here, this one here. But most of them, and I've got an outlier here, is female, but most of the males are underneath the 10. So my next one I'm going to do is I am going to create a box and whisker plot. So reset this, go to box plot, and I'm going to drag just a simple box and whisker plot up. And with this one, I need to explore the distribution of scores on sleepiness and associated scales for people who report that they do or don't have a problem with their sleep. So a problem with their sleep, I'm going to put the X. So let's go ahead and make this bigger. Problem sleeping. And that is problem sleeping recorded. Put that on my X axis. Okay. And then for my Y axis, I'm going to put my total satisfaction. And then I also want to come over here and do group points. I want to do point ID labels. And once I have that ready, then I can press OK, and it will come up into my output area. And I am able to see those that did not. And remember, this is our median area. And then I'm able to see those that did have problems sleeping with according to the sensation scale. And if you can tell down here, you've got your outliers. Remember, we looked at those up here too, where we had our outliers here. And then you have your outliers here too. So you've got outliers that are labeled down here. You don't have every single one, but your outliers are labeled. So that is our box and whisper plot. And for our last one, we're going to do a line graph. So we're going to go into graphs, chart builder. Okay. And we're going to reset this. Now, all that, remember, is in our output. So when we reset it, it doesn't disappear. It's still in the output. And we're going to go to gallery, and we're going to go to line. This one is asking us to compare scores. And since I'm comparing scores, that means I need two. I just don't have one single line. And I'm comparing scores on sleepiness and associated sensation scale across the different age groups for male and female. So we already know male and female, that's going to set our color. So we're going to drop sex over here. And our total satisfaction is going to be my Y. So let's go ahead and scroll down. We know that's at the bottom, so I'm just going to take it down. And I believe total satisfaction is going to be my Y. And my age group is going to be my X, my 3 years. And then with that, I can press OK. And there is my line graph. Now remember, when we looked up at, and you can see that all these are related and that they are the same data, especially when we're comparing by age group and by sex. Remember that we saw the decline of the females in our bar graph, and then we also saw that males started up and then they dipped and then they went back up. Well, that is also viewed in this line graph. You can see that males or females are at a steady decline, whereas males start high up, they dip, and then they rock back up again. So those are the different charts using in chapter 7.